What's up, traders? Welcome back. This video is going to be a little bit different. I actually wanted to do this video a long time ago, and when I started actually doing some research on it, I found this this channel. It's called NinjaTrading. I believe this guy's name's Isaac, and he actually put a video himself of basically the most in-depth, honest day trading guide for beginners. If you're new and you don't know where to start and you're just doing some research, this video will help you tremendously. I mean, he did an amazing job, and of course all the credits go to him. And what I wanted to do, I just want to go over the video real quickly and keep it under 30 minutes. His video is over an hour long, and I'm not gonna go over every single thing. There's just too much information out there, or not out there in that video, but it's everything he says is extremely important. And you know, take your time and just kind of watch the video. I promise you it will help you tremendously if you're new, right? And you don't know where to start. But if you're, if you've been training for a long time, this is not the video for you. But either way, I'm just gonna go over the one of the key things in the video and kind of put my own perspective on it, my own personal experience as well. So yeah, let's get started real quick. So in this section it talks about how to learn day trading, right? And I'm gonna cut straight to the point and say that, and again, not just me saying this, but Mac as well. He says that trading is a skill, okay? A skill that you can practice, you can hone, and that you can perfect, right? Now, the good thing about trading is that you don't really need talent to trade. And yeah, I mean, talent does help a little bit, but essentially, trading is really a skill that you can, again, like I said, practice, just like a piano or whatever, right? And there's no shortcut. There's not a shortcut. There's no way to kind of expedite the process or just skip things. You got to go through the process. And if you're new, just know that it takes time to perfect this. And I'm still new. I'm still a newbie. I'm still learning. There's a lot more that I need to learn myself, because I've only been doing this for a little under a year. So there's still a lot more to learn, but just know when you first start out, it's gonna be frustrating, it's gonna be hard, but trust me, trust the process. Really trust the process. It's gonna help you tremendously. All right. So another thing he talks about here is two different traders, right? Systematic and then discretionary. So in my opinion, if you are trading max system, and then I'll probably talk a lot about max system because I've been using it for a long time, so that's probably the only thing that I know is how to trade. So if I'm Mac biased, don't get offended. But max systems, I think, is systematic, right? You have criteria, you have trend channels, you have a break, you have stream tested, you have second entries, things like that, right? You're looking for, even though we're not pattern traders, right? But we look for patterns to enter our trades, right? But most of all, we are context traders. But we do follow a set of rules, right? If the signal bar is not good, you don't enter the trade, and X, Y, and Z, right? Now, discretionary traders is also, you can also use with max system, okay? They don't look for, a specific bar or anything like that. They just really read the price action and trade based on their gut. Now, I did have trades that I took myself that are basically just gut trades, right? And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But the discretionary traders, or discretionary trading style, is it's going to take you a really long time to kind of develop that system, right? Because you're trading by intuition, you're trading by a gut feeling, right? And that takes time to develop, right? Versus where you get, systematic traders where you already have, a manual and you just follow the manual, right? You read the manual, you learn it, and you just follow it, right? So again, I don't think neither or are bad. I think both are good, and you can actually combine them together, right? You don't have to have either or. You can trade both of them. Now, which trader you're gonna be, that's up to you, and you won't find out until probably 6 months into your trading journey, probably even longer. And if you want to do both, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. But understand that discretionary, you have to, again, trade on your intuition, right? It says memory, right? You have to go through memory and stuff like that. So those skills will develop later, versus where systematic, we already gives you like an examples and stuff and what to look for, right? So again, if you first, I would start with the systematic trading system, and then maybe slowly transition to discretionary, or just use both. Really, honestly, it's up to you. It's really, trading is up to you. Find your style, find what works for you, and go from there. Don't stick with one thing just because somebody else says you have to do this. Okay, don't do that. Trading is about, you know, feeling the flow, feeling what works for you, and finding out what you like, right? So, and that takes time. Again, that takes time. Basically through trial and error. Let's move on. So in this section, I'm gonna touch up real quickly. If your chart looks like this when you first start trading, this is a no-no, okay? You don't need 1,000 indicators. And here's the thing about indicators, I will say this, we all start on indicators, right? We all watch these YouTube videos of, you know, crossover MACDs and moving averages and RSIs and XYZ. Now, I'm not saying they don't work, okay? I'm not saying that, but I will say this, you have to know price action in order for them to work, okay? So if you're gonna use indicators, make sure you learn their price action first, okay? Whether it's support resistance, supply demand, max, whatever, Al Brooks, I don't care. But make sure you understand what price is doing, and then start adding, if you want to, add in indicators. But make sure that also indicators are your supporting tool, not where you base, you know, your decision on indicators, okay? Price action comes first, and make sure you understand that when you see something, when you read price action and you see your entry, make sure you can confirm that with an indicator, right? So just make sure you understand that. And like I said, it's not that indicators don't work, it's that you have to know the price action first. All right, let's move on. So in this section, he talks about how to find an edge, and basically, you know, edge, methodology, strategy, whatever, right? All these things is basically a tool that's giving you a high probability setups, high probability trades, right? And I can't tell you what's gonna work for you or what you're gonna like. That's something you're gonna have to experiment with, right? And you're gonna have to find different time frames, different you know, targets, stop losses, you know, how many trades you're gonna do, target profit per day, what you're gonna trade, you know, stocks, stock options, forex, futures, you know, crypto. There's tons of things that you can trade. Again, what you like, what you don't like, and you're gonna have to find out on your own. I can't tell you what it is or to trade, but I will tell you this, that futures, and we'll talk about this later, futures is probably the most easiest to get started. I'm not saying it's easiest to trade, no, but I'm saying it's the easiest to get started in trading versus, you know, as far as terminology, like, you know, tick and a point and a contract and all that stuff. And, you know, you don't have to learn, like, you know, for example, in options, you're gonna know betas, datas, whatever ADAs, right? You ain't gotta know none of that stuff. There's no expiration date. There's just none of that. So again, futures for me personally is probably going to be the easiest to kind of learn, right? And then it also says journal. Again, I think the best way to kind of curve your learning curve, is basically record your trades. And you can download OBS, it's free, and just set it up, click record, and that's it. Just record your trading session, and, you know, write down some notes on your chart when you trade, like what do you like, what you don't like. And then just before, you know, at the end of the day, or before you go to bed or whatever, just look over your trades, look over the video. You ain't gotta post it on YouTube, none of that. It's just personally for you, and this really is it's super easy. And you can do screenshots if you want to. You can do actual journal in handwriting or in Google Docs, whatever you want to do. But make sure you write down what you like, what you don't like, because that will help you tremendously in terms of what edge you're gonna trade or what you're going to use, right? And you don't want, the most important thing is you don't want to change your strategy in the middle of like your learning journey, right? Like don't change it. Like if you're 6 months into it and you've been doing the same thing for 6 months, don't change that, okay? Because basically you're restarting again, because you have to learn the new rules and all that stuff. And again, I would do this basically experimenting. I would do this before you even go full time, right? And take an hour or two of your day and just use a demo account and just trade, or use a some platform have a rewind option or playback, whatever you want to call it, right? And just trade like that if you can't do it in the morning, right? So anyways, very important, make sure you experiment before you do it full time, okay? All right, so this is why you want to trade futures, right? There's a lot of positive things about trading futures. If you want to trade stocks, day trade stocks, not swing trade, day trade stocks. You gotta have 25,000 in your account. Now if you're brand new, that's a very bad idea. Don't do that, okay? In futures, you can just start with, again, like you said, a couple $100. You can trade MES or NES or NES, MNQ, MES and MNQ. The ticks are very small. It's like $1 in MES is $1.25 versus $12.50 on actual micro. So trading platforms, plenty of trading platforms. I'm not gonna go tell you which one to use. You have to do that on your own. 60-40 rule, again, huge. I'm not gonna go over it here. Different different instruments: Nasdaq, S&P 500, Russell, oil, gold, whatever, right? Bunch of liquidity, very easy, like small, like I've never seen slippage unless it's like high volatility news or something like that, then yeah. But normal regular trading, I've never seen slippage ever. Small spreads, flexible hours. Now I will say this: don't trade overnight. Overnight is absolutely trash. Price action. Now you can swing trade overnight, but if you're day trading and you're trying to get in and out of trades, don't do it overnight. It's like watching paint dry. There are some movements happen overnight, but you just don't know what's going to happen. And some nights is good, sometimes it's bad, and you don't want to sit there for 3 hours and just see no movement. Really. You don't want to do that. So don't trade 24/7. Just trade regular hours if you can. And of course, trades settle instantly. There's just, again, like I said, there's no slippage. It's just plenty of liquidity. You're in and out, and you're good to go. So again, if you want to learn the terminology and what a point is and a tick is, he actually teaches you in this video. Like, he explains everything you need to know about what a tick is, what a point is, and all that stuff, or a contract, all that good stuff. Again, go watch that video. All right, let's move on. So of course, this is pretty much self-explanatory, and I know most people won't listen to me or anybody else, and that's okay, because it's human nature, right? I don't listen to people who tell me they'll start with real money, and I did start with real money. But in my case, I actually started with only $500. And back then, you can actually trade the ES with $500. And now I think it's a little bit more than that, actually, just because of the volatility and things like that. So anyways, my point is that you don't want to start with real money. Now, obviously, you're probably not going to listen to me, so that's okay. But if you're gonna start with real money, start with something small. In my case, I started with $500, and I actually doubled that in 1 week, and I got really, really lucky. I mean, I was extremely lucky. I'm not even gonna lie about it. And guess what? I lost it all the following week. It was gone. I was up like around $1,100, and I was feeling good, and it was gone instantly, almost instantly. So that was a learning lesson for me. Basically saying, hey, like, I need more time. You can't do this like with real money. You need to like learn the process and all that stuff. So that's when I scaled back. Not scaled back, I took a step back and started with a prop firm, which we'll talk about later. But if you're gonna start with real money, start small. Start like $200, $300, $500. Don't do 1,000. Don't do 5,000. Don't do that. That's a recipe for disaster. Don't do that. Like I said, start with 500 and just trade MES or MNQ and see how you feel. You know, better yet, start with a prop firm. That's the best advice I can give you. And one other thing too is you don't want to start with real money until you double your sim account. And when you trade on a sim account, set a reasonable amount, like set like, you know, 5,000 or 2,000. Set an amount to what you think is going to trade with, whether it's 2,000, 5,000, $10,000, whatever it is, and then double that on a sim. And then I would go on a prop firm, do that for a little bit, and then I would go into real money. That's how I would do it. And I've not traded my real money since basically that incident, and I think I probably won't, just because why risk your money when you can use a prop firm, which we'll talk about later. Anyways, start small if you have to. If you really want to, start small, please. So prop firms, right? So great tool in my opinion. Great tool. Again, the plan that you want to go through is double your sim, prop firm, and then your real capital, right? And prop firms are great. Prop firms are great. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one to use. I've been using Apex for a really long time, and it's not because they're the best. I don't think they're the best. I think there's other prop firms out there that are kind of better in their own way. I will say this: Apex has the best sales. I will give them that, hands down, best sales. Not even a contest there. They're just hands down the best. But their withdrawal process is kind of tedious. You know, it's there's some issues, not issues, but like there's a process you have to go through, versus where like Top Step or Trade Day or any other ones, they have a pretty straightforward withdrawal process. And also, Apex has a trailing drawdown, which I'm not a fan of, but then again, I don't really care about it. So to some people, it might be an issue. To me personally, I've never had an issue, but it can get a little bit stressful when you getting close to that, you know that point, right? So just one of those things, like, you know, I know Isaac talks about trade day, and they changed a few things about them that are, I guess, they're awesome. He did do a review on them, so go check it out. Again, go to the channel, check it out. And he says it's the best trading prop firm, hands down. They are a little bit expensive. I think the 50Ks, I think around 160 or 165. But it does have a 20% coupon, so it is what it is. And I believe Top Step. So Top Step, I did try them from very beginning. I think the first month or so I started trading. I tried them. I obviously didn't pass, but because I didn't know what I was doing, not because they're hard. But I do want to give them a shot again to see how I'm doing. It's just that I honestly don't want to spend 160 bucks on an eval. That's just, you know what I mean? Like, I can spend, you know, I can get what, like 3, 4, 5-ish, whatever, 4 evals on 80% off on Apex versus 1, right? So, you know, but again, like I said, I do want to give them a shot just to see if I can pass or not. Maybe I'll do Trade Day, I don't know. But anyways, basically prop firms, like he says here, let you trade with companies' money. Now, to be perfectly honest, eval and the PA accounts, they're all sim accounts. They're not real money. Nobody's gonna give you real money to trade until you actually proven to be consistent, right? That's just crazy. It's all sim accounts. It really is. Like, you don't actually trade real money until you probably consistent for like a month or two. Then you actually can trade on real account, and they won't tell you this, but they'll switch it over like in their back end to actual account. So even if you get a PA, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's real money. No, you have to prove that to them that you're consistent. All right, so again, just one of those things that you know, you want to go through before you trade your own money. Now, another trick too is most of these companies, they will let you keep the first, whatever it's 5,000, 10,000. I think Apex is 20,000 of the first profit. You can keep that. So essentially what you can do is trade the eval, get the PA, bring up the PA to 25K or whatever, and just withdraw that money, right? And use that 25K to trade on your own money, right? So, and just cancel the PA account, and that's it. Essentially, that's what you can do. Now, that's what I kind of want to do myself. I haven't gotten to that point just yet. Hopefully, within the next, 6 months or so, I can get to that point, because I haven't really been trading my PAs. I've been focusing on the evals. But the point is, you can do that. Great tool. And or just keep trading with the platform. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, let's move on. So this section here is kind of like almost my favorite, to be honest, and he talks about avoid YouTube. Now, personally speaking, if it wasn't for YouTube or Google, I probably would not be here. Just simple, because you can't learn to trade by reading books. I mean, they'll help you, don't get me wrong, they'll help you, but you will learn trading by trading, right? Actually trading and putting trades and get to know yourself and how you feel. Now, some of these dudes I watch, Clay Trader, even though he trades stocks, I don't trade stocks, but he does live trading, not like live, but he does record his live trades, where he actually goes through his thought process and trades. So I do think he's good. And I think, who else? I've seen this guy, Day Trading Addict. I think it's just like support resistance, whatever. And I think, who else? I think I watched him too a long time ago. But anyways, so he talks about, like, these guys sell you courses. Now, most of these guys, and I say most, are basically the YouTubers, right? They're YouTubers, they're influencers, they're not really traders, and that's okay. The problem that I have with these guys is that if you're teaching something, I want to see your live trades, okay, and how you use your strategy that you teach. That's what I want to see. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how many contracts, what's your lot size. I don't care none of that. I care about your entries. I care about your strategy and why you're taking the trades. That's what I care about. And if you can demonstrate that live, whether it's a recording or a live, whatever, I don't care, then yeah, I think you get more respect from me, right? The reason I like Mac is because A, what he teaches works, okay, and two, he's not in it, he doesn't want to be a YouTuber, okay, he doesn't want to be a YouTuber. His manual is like $100, probably maybe a little bit more now, maybe $125, and he has a lot of information for $100. Some of these guys charge you like $500, $1,000. It's like, and here's the thing too, is all the stuff that they teach, you can find it online for free. I mean, it is. Please don't. I know you're new, and I know you think that they have some kind of secret. Oh my God! For the love of God, don't spend $500 or whatever it is on a strategy that you can literally find on the internet for free. Just Google it. Google it. It will be there. Like, for example, I think Inner Circle, yeah, ICT Traders, right? He has a huge following. And most of those people, they actually teach it to other people for free. So like all the stuff that he teaches to them, that he charges, they just teach it for free. And it's like, whatever. It's just, anyways. So please don't spend your hard-earned money. Man, I can't even talk. Please don't spend your hard-earned money on these courses, because everything they teach is available online for free. So yeah. Another thing too, I do want to mention now, I've seen recently there's a lot of people that like trade live on YouTube, and if you're doing that, that's great. But I think that if you've been doing it for less than a year, I think you should kind of step back a little bit, because trading in itself is already a lot of pressure, and then trading live on the internet adds even more pressure to that. Okay, so yeah, I actually wanted to trade myself live on YouTube, and I actually thought about it. I'm like, well, I've only been training for a year, so I can't really teach you like per se, like, you know, what I've learned, just because I'm still learning myself, right? Now maybe a year or 2 or 3 from now, yeah, I can probably, you know, stream on YouTube or whatever. But I also don't want to add extra pressure to myself to trade, and then I had to interact with chat and all this and stuff like that. So that's even extra pressure. Plus you get those trolls. I mean, you get people who will support you, and you have people who won't support you, who wants to see you lose, right? So you got to deal with that, and that's just like, if you want to trade, like if you want to stream, do it on Discord. I think Discord is way better than YouTube in terms of like creating a community, because you can post charts, you can post trade ideas, you can post your trades and things like that pretty instantly, and then whoever's watching you can also post their charts as well. So that way you can kind of like compare, and also you can create a limit to how many people are watching, right? You know, you can create, you know, maybe like 10 or 20 or whatever, and start with small, you know, start with like 5, and if you feel comfortable, then increase it to 10. If you feel more comfortable, then increase it to 20, right? So you can control of how much exposure you have, right? Versus like potentially YouTube, you have, you know, millions of views, but obviously you won't because you're just starting, but the potential is there. But yeah, if you want to start streaming, and which myself, again, I do want to start streaming, which I'll probably do it on Discord sometime soon. Again, like I said, start on Discord. And I just feel like YouTube is just, again, it's double-edged sword. So it's good and it's bad. But anyways, the point of this is don't spend your money on courses. They're a waste of time. Max, however, he does teach you, he doesn't call it a course, he calls it a manual, which technically speaking, in a course you should be talking about all kinds of different aspects of trading, like with psychology, technical analysis, things like that. Mac just teaches you technical analysis, and he teaches you strategy. That's it. That's all he does. He doesn't talk about he doesn't talk about psychology and the mental aspect of the trading. No, he just talks about the strategy. And it's only $100. I mean, the information you get in that manual is worth way more than $100, honestly speaking. But anyway, let's move on. So how much money do you really need to start to trade with, right? So honestly speaking, I would probably start with $500. I think it's a good number. I think and trade the MES and MNQ, the micros and minis. Don't trade the actual micros. But yeah, I think $400 is a good start. And honestly speaking, when you first start trading, if you're not doing the whole prop firm thing, or you know, whatever, the sim account, I would just get used to losing, because you're gonna lose, and also figuring out what you like, what you don't like, and looking for your, whether it's using max system or whoever system or support resistance or whatever. You just want to get used to reading the chart and looking for your setups. That's what you're trying to get used to. Don't focus on the money, okay? Focus on the actual process of you're looking for your entries and your exits, right? That's what you're looking for. Because a lot of traders, they go into this business, and I mean, we're all guilty, right? I mean, too, myself as well. You know, I went into trading thinking that I want to make money, right? There's nothing wrong of going into trading and wanting to make money, right? That's nothing wrong with that. But I think if you focus too much on the money, you won't be successful, because you need to focus on the process. And I've learned that the hard way, because I was initially, the first 6 months, I was just focused on the money, really, aspect of it. But as I slowly kind of like keep doing it, my mentality kind of switched over, and I said to myself, hey, like, you need to like focus on your trading, the actual trading, like focus on reading the charts, focus on drawing your correct channels, your support resistance, not support resistance, but your ranges and things like that. And that transitions into the money, right? That eventually, basically money becomes a byproduct, right? So if you're feeling the flow, if you're feeling, you know, that you're reading the price correctly and everything is aligning and you're executing flawlessly and everything, money will just come. Like that's just the way it is. But anyways, I think $400 is, or $500 I think is a pretty good start. Now again, it's up to you. You can do 1,000, do whatever you want, but just know that if you start with $500, just know that money is gone. Like, think of it that way. $500 gone, just gone. I know it's there technically, right? It's in the account, but it's gone, right? So just have that mentality. In this section, he talks about most common beginners' mistakes, right? So, like I said before, we talked about don't use, don't use real money. If you have to, use very small amount. Don't size up too early. That's something that I made a mistake too. He talks about, personal experience. I went from 2 contracts to like 5 contracts within like, I think, a week at the very, very beginning. I know I trade 10 contracts now, but that was a mistake. And because once you lose with 5 contracts, it really messes your psychology really, really badly, especially when you're early on. That you don't want to do that, because you're damaging your psychology. Don't cut your winners early, or your losses run. Now, if you use the max system, he has predefined take profit and entries, so you don't have to worry about that. Don't revenge trade. This is something I still struggle with, and again, it's really hard to just stop trading right when you have a loss, right? But I am getting better myself, but it's still there, right? So it's something that you're gonna have to deal with yourself and find out how you're gonna deal with it. Usually I try to walk away, or I just try to like calm down and just either stretch or whatever, or walk my dogs and then come back fresh. So that's usually what I try to do, but it doesn't always work out that way. Again, don't size up after a loss. You can use daily MAC loss in your actual platform like NinjaTrader or TraderWeight. I don't have that, but and it says don't try to rationalize the market. So again, markets, they're gonna do what they want to do. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, and you can't be, just because there's a resistance up there or support does not mean that the market's not going to break through that and go lower or higher, right? So don't try to predict the market, just go with the market, right? If you broke that resistance, cool. Okay, I'm gonna look for my setup to the upside, right? Anyways, these are some of the common mistakes, and there's probably more, but we're gonna move on because this video is already 35 minutes. So yeah, let's move on. So he also talks about patterns, and I'm gonna say real quickly, patterns, they do work and they don't work. For me personally, I don't want to learn all this stuff. To me, that's just never really had interest in it, like the bull flags and wedges and head and shoulders and all that. I don't care. I really don't care. All I care is about reading price action with a break of retest to the extremes and looking for my second entry. That's all I need to know. I don't want to say they don't work. I don't want to say they do work. I've seen people trade with the patterns and they were profitable. And the thing I'll tell you is that if you find success with patterns, hey, I'm not going to argue. You simply cannot argue with success. So you're going to have to, again, this is like basically user discretion. If it works for you, go ahead, you keep using it. If it doesn't, move on to the next thing. So yeah, let's move on. So quite a few important notes here. And basically I'm going to close out the video because it's already getting 40 minutes into it. So don't quit your day job. It's very, very important. There is, I made a mistake of doing that myself, and not necessarily it was a mistake. Basically, I knew that in that year, it was last year, I knew that I wanted to quit my job. And whether it's do trading or do something else or go to a different hotel or get a different job completely or go back to school, my plan was to quit my job because I was unhappy and I hated it. So that was my plan. Now it so happened that I was actually trading during my full-time job because I would have days off and I would just trade on my days off, or I would do playback after I got home. But I was already doing that while I was still in my full-time job, and the opportunity kind of rise, I don't know. Opportunity came up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this full-time. And it was good, and I had some money set aside for that, but that money was getting low, so I had to get a part-time job, which also helped me out a lot. So the point is here, if you're gonna quit your job, make sure you get another job, either part-time or full-time, that will work with your schedule, so you can trade in the morning and then go to your job at night, right? I don't know whether it's like, I think the perfect job for that would be probably a server, because servers usually work at night and usually go into work around 2 or 3, so you can have the whole morning to kind of trade and do whatever, and then you can still make, again, not a lot of money, but some servers do make a good amount of money, speaking from experience, because my girlfriend used to be a server. And yeah, so you can still do that. And again, you don't want to quit your job until you consistently can see profits, right? Whether it's doubling your sim or consistently doing the consistent profits in the prop firm, and so on and so forth. Don't be discouraged. Oh my God, this is a huge one. You will, when you first start out, you will go through, I mean, you will go through everything. I don't know, in my personal experience, I went through everything. I think I went through every single emotion out there that existed, to be honest. Well, maybe not FOMO. I don't really have FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, but everything else, fear of losing, hesitation, low confidence, you know, just frustration with not reading the chart correctly, you know, taking the wrong trades at the wrong time. It was just like, there's a lot out there that you need to like really kind of be focused, right? But there'll be setbacks, just like anything else. You know, you don't just, you know, pick up a scalpel and do brain surgery. That doesn't happen, right? You have to learn, you have to practice, and you have to go through certain steps. And this is exactly like that, okay? Trading is just like that. And he also says you should have an endless amount of motivation. Now this one's also very big. And I will say this, like, you gotta want this. You have to want this. If you don't want this, and if you just like, oh, well, just try and see it, nah. It's either you're in or you're not, and that's it. There's no in between. You can't just dibble your toes and, you know, oh, I just want to see it. No, that does not work like that. Because if you just want to like see what happens, you're gonna lose money. You're gonna lose money, and you're not gonna like it, and you're gonna never come back to it. And that's okay. I'll be more than happy to take your money. More than happy. But if you want to do this, and you have to be determined. Like, you have to be determined, and you have to push yourself, and you have to want this, because the end results will be life-changing, will be absolutely life-changing. And it's not gonna come overnight. It's not gonna come within 6 months or even a year, okay? But it is extremely difficult, okay? And don't believe everything you see on YouTube or TikTok or any of that. It is incredibly difficult. It also helps if you have a good support system. The tips that I have for you is, for when you have a red day or like a red week or whatever, watch motivational videos. I actually have a friend that, I don't know how he does it, but every time I have a red day, somehow he knows, and he'll tag me into like a motivational video or something, which is kind of crazy, because like, and it works like a charm. Every time I have a red day and I'm like, look at my phone, I'm like what the, how do you know? Anyways, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, it helps if you have friends who support you, your wife or your girlfriend or whoever it is, that kind of, you know, understands. And also another thing too is make sure they understand what you're trying to do, because you probably won't make money in the first year. Like, I haven't made money in a year, and I've been doing this for almost a year, and I have made zero money. Now, I have passed evals. Yes, technically speaking, I did have money made, but it's not my money. It's an eval. So it's not like I had a paycheck from them. No, I never had that. So just remember that. Make sure there are people who understand that it takes time, and they might not understand it because, like, well, how can you not make money for a year? Well, I mean, if you go to school for a certain profession, for example, like nursing or doctors or pilot or chef, right? When you go to school for that career, for that profession, do you make money off of that profession? No. You actually study how to be that. You might have a job, right? For example, like serving or something, right? Or whatever, but you're not actually making money off of that profession, right? It's the same thing in trading, okay? Same exact thing. Okay, people go to school for years, and then they're never like lawyers, right? They don't make money if you're you know, a lawyer or study to be a lawyer. You don't make money off of that. No, you make money after you graduate and pass your bar, and then you make money as a lawyer, right? So it's the same thing, same exact thing. So anyways, I think I'm gonna be done with this. It's about 43 minutes. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you found some good information in this. Again, go watch this video. There's tons of information that I skipped through, so please give him a shout out and subscribe to his channel. And he also does, like I said, he has a second channel. He just started his own trading journey, so yeah, give him a shout out. Good, cool guy, and big thanks to him for letting me use his video. But anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.